I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to Teacher Review. Today is September 10, Wednesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. And also, this is going to be our third year doing these videos for free teaching, which is, I believe it was the 6th of September or something like that, whatever. But point is, which is awesome, I'm going to go over this real quick, try to make this simple. We'll just stay here for a second. We were talking about obviously buying up for the 15-year, pushing up past that high, and then ultimately getting up here, right? We did that into 8:30 today, fell short of the high, obviously. And then we came back in the range. So it's a low to high pretty much that we made here and retrace. And then now we're expanding here and then we retrace back. And that's kind of like what we did. So we were in expansion mode already, right? And know what the phases of price are. So that being said here, you can see that we made the video and we were expanding. We took out that high. That's what this green level is here. All right. And then if you watched the video yesterday, clearly I talked about 963 getting hit, specifically 963. Whoa, what are we doing here? Shit's all over the place. Excuse me for a second. So 963 happened to be right before we retrace before the 8:30 news. Look at 963. I have my little circle guy right there. See that? My little circle. Remember we talked about in the video yesterday? Right there. Bam. Hit that right there. Point is that what's it called? We were in expansion phase. We get these 3 drives up, and then on the right side of the curve, very similar to this. So you know, I don't even have to explain much. Go watch these videos. And then we retrace back. Where we retrace back to Monday's PM sessions, first and balance, and then also getting into that rejection wick right there. It's demand wick right this 10 o'clock from yesterday. So beautiful buyback up. And then we did have a change of delivery here. So we pushed up, and for an expansion, we retraced with an expansion. So it's kind of like a reversal, obviously. And then we get this lower high. This doesn't keep pushing up. They know everyone's trying to buy it. They know everyone's trying to get in the bag here, and obviously they're going to punish and bring it back, right? Back into that breakout level. So high resistance, right? And it's higher highs and higher lows pretty much the whole way, unless something crazy really happens and it turns into the 5-year. I discussed that yesterday, and I've been discussing it. So if you've been following, nice candle though to reverse from, is assuming that this 50% of this wick is respected. You don't want to see it come any lower. You don't want to see it come any lower than this anyway, but you'd want to see it just start expanding in this nature like we did with this. So that's kind of like a last resort. Hope this makes sense. So pretty fire here. You can see that when we took the high out of when I was talking about yesterday, I've already got it in the green line right here. That's yesterday's high. And then I talked about that example. If you had your stop loss here, and let's just say that was your trade. Let's just say the change of delivery is right here on this 15-minute. There's no reason to put your stop loss here, and you're going for your 2R. 2R is here. Guess what? You would have missed it. So mechanically, I don't work with my R like that, my risk to reward, because of the fact that, I mean, you should be taking profit. I'm not going to let this thing come all the way back on me and then come back in here. Look at the stop loss. Oh, even if it keeps buying back up, I'm not allowing this. If I took this fucking trade, I'm taking the profit out, because that's the higher low to higher high expansion. And then for the retrace, it comes back more than 70%. So why would I do that, right? So that's why when I take this trade, if you were to have took it this way, is what I'm saying, there's no sense for you to, it should be in break even, right? So even if I took that trade and it came in, I want to see a swing higher low get formed and then push up through. I hate when they fucking do that. This is exactly why I don't use this tool to depict shit. But then yeah, once it's pushing up and comes back right here, and then it pushes up again, that shit's a break even, right? So okay. Anyways, so higher lows here being formed. Speaker right here, you can see it, pretty obvious. But they don't take out the Monday. They don't. I'm sorry. They don't take out the Asia low. So we push up for 830 first, already first. So that's telling on itself that, okay, if 830 is going to be it's going to be the expansion manipulation up, finishing pretty much the finale here without taking them out. Why don't they take them out? Because they've already done damage to the left side. They don't give a fuck about these guys. They're already out, first of all. And if they're not, it's like, well, that sucks, right? Fuck that. So, because they can obviously get back in here with this understanding, but this is now the people who are buying are holding the bag. So what phase are we in when we start at 930? Well, we've already done the expansion. So we're looking for a retracement. So, oh God, there's so much to talk about. But if 830 is going to be the manipulation up, then we expect 930 to be the distribution down, right? Obviously. So that's what we do here. And I'm going to do this just to show you this fire, especially for the 3rd year anniversary. I don't know how many years I could do this for free, or to do it, period. Really, forget the money. But look at the entry here, 24,004 and quarter. All right, see how I get to this? So we get this push up, right? We get this push up. All right, we have this big wick. You can see 50%. We've already hit that right there. We're playing around here. What are they doing right here? Right here, they're just trying to grab that guy right there, because they're gonna give kudos to this guy and say, fuck it, you couldn't even catch that anyway. So if you hit sell here, we already squeezed you out. But we took this guy. Why? Because this guy is that last so-called lower high. They raid that so slightly. Look, take a look. I mean, so slightly, right? Body's closed in. And they just wicked them out to put them off balance, right? And now you don't catch the ride. But guess what? I'm not involved in any of this. Fuck that. I'm only trading and waiting for 930. Around 930. Well, obviously this is before 930. But how do I get into this trade? Well, I see this displacement candle right here. Right, and I see this as a staying empty candle, but the way I entered it is on the 15-second chart. This is momentum. If you watched it, you'd see that you shouldn't see a bold ass candle like that, going below here. But on the 15-second, I'm gonna go to it. So if you don't have 15-second, then it's the logic of that strength, and we're coming down anyway because we know that the opening range gap is here, and that data low from 830 is right there. Right, so that right there tells you. But look at this right here closely. What was that number? 2004 and 3/4. Oh, right there. Oh, what's that? Look at this, the 15-second. So on the 15-second, I see a displacement candle. Strong, close. You see that? Look at the next one candle. This pushes up. Now there's an imbalance here. I don't have it drawn. I'm going to draw for you now. If you're new. Boom. Boom. God, I'm going to make this long, but I'm giving you fire. See this right here? What's my entry? What was my entry? 2004 and 3/4. What's the high of this blue candle? Look up top. 24,004 and 3/4. I'm filled right away. Right at that level. It closed. I'm entered. I don't give a fuck how far it goes. Hits the 50%. That's not my entry. It could just sink right down. Look at 930. Look at this candle. That's a directional candle. Some people call this engulfing or whatever you call it. This is a directional candle in my opinion. So in general speaking, this is giving you where the flow is. Why? Because look to the left. We've already pushed up strong. This is a reversal, right? But in the reversal, this is the top of the range. Now we're retracing back down. We want to make lower lows and lower highs down, right? So I'm catching that. But what's the logic? Where am I going? I'm going to, well, let me go back to it 1 minute. I'm going back to that data low. Look at the circle here. Circle here. Low. I have the midnight level right here. Okay. And then I have this nice, beautiful liquidity. And it's specifically below the 50. Okay, -1 on, okay, there's a couple projections here. Okay, there's this one, which you see it on the 15-minute. It's that whole candle. It's the whole candle. All right, I'm going to delete this now because you can see where the 50% was there. Now you can see me doing from here to here. Because when we push up and we come back, retrace, we push up, we fail. We come in here, this is internal low and high. We break through that. So I'm using that measurement. 1 and 1.5 right here. And then you'll see 2 to 2.5, and you'll see 3.5 to 4. Then you'll see on that candle 1 and 1.5. You only want to be involved in the market in these areas, period, right? So anyways, that's the objective for me, obviously the 50%, but the objective is to take that low out. And now I have this circle here. This circle here is obviously the sealment. This is today's gap. And obviously the liquidity from Asia and pre-New York, right? So, okay, so now that I've said that, that's what I'm doing here. This is the main objective for today. It doesn't matter if this thing goes up, doesn't matter if it goes down. I'm not married to this top high. I'm not married to coming all the way down here. This is just the exact specific setup and model that I'm looking for today, period. What happened in the rest of the day? Well, as you see, let me see if I can do this real quick. We get the first imbalance for today, right? Oh, and as you can see, I allow it to get made, right? And we push up into it, right? Top 25% of the opening range gap. And then I'm looking for 2 drives down. This is how I got here, but then we tag that midnight level to the tick. We tag it, try to take the picture and squeeze it out so I can, whatever, be done with the trade. But here you can see we get some drives down, boom, and then we hit the high here that we broke through from. Remember, we broke through with that higher low to expand up. It's in the green. We come and we tag it right there. Boom, that's a beautiful buy sitting in the 1 and 1.5. But what are we doing? You're only the logic of buying this, if you even did, was to come back up for a what? Either if it's bullish and goes all the way through the moon, or it's a lower high, right? So what's the structure? I've already did this same example yesterday. You get the higher highs and higher lows on this side, finale. This side is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. I mean, man, it doesn't get more beautiful than this, to be honest. But if you bought this, you got to take that profit out. Look how we start to consolidate in this first imbalance. The point of this conversation is that it takes too long to sit in here. It should not be sitting in here this long. We should have already been up, right? So this is most likely a lower high. And look where it starts to sell off from right there. Bink. Like you're playing around all day, buddy. Like go fuck yourself, right? I'm already done for the day. All right, took this bar back up into here as a minimum target. Why? Because this is a breakout area. You got liquidity, inefficiency, and breakout. Those 3 things as a great magnet. Okay, but if it doesn't go up, guess what? You're done. If you see the God, there's so much to talk about. But you have this inversion here. You have this last raid, and what's it called? On the 5-minute, it's nice because you'll be able to see the swing that it created. See, you have a low, low. Where's the swing? Low, low, higher low. See that swing right here? So this is also tagging that bottom 25%. We've already tagged that breakout level. It's in light green. They miss this on purpose. They do this. Why? Because they want to come back up here. You see that? All right. So, and then you can see the wicking, and then less bodies. You shouldn't get all this type of shit. You definitely shouldn't be getting this. Look how this candle sells literally from that 25%. Of the opening range gap, and then now the structure starts to kick in, and then what does it do? Comes back down deep in. This is not something I would buy or sell. Okay, just in general speaking, that's not something I would want to be involved in. Why? Well, because you got order flow, you shouldn't be down here to take another buy. We should already be flowing up in that leg harmoniously, harmoniously, right? The point is that this is high resistance. I don't want to be involved in that, right? Now, what does it do? Well, squeezes them out, creates more liquidity, pushes back up to the top 25%. This is now the lower high on the right side. So lower low, break here, lower high, and then you get your structure down. That's why I'm looking to buy low and sell high, right? So this is me selling high, okay, buying low, okay, in relative understanding. I looking for a simple 1-2 punch move in a dump pump. I don't know if this is going to keep pushing up. Guess what? I don't need to find out and be right to go up to this level. And you also have this week with CPI and all these other things that we're discussing in these first 2 weeks of September. But with understanding that this can be the possible lower high to sell, to do what? Obviously, you know that there's liquidity there and there's an opening range gap still not sealed. If you're still in the market, then that would be the play. Okay, especially when you get this pushed down, this is not favorable for buying. I do not want to buy anything around this area. That's gone. Anyways, what's it called? So it comes to this 25% and then it sells off. But that target for this sell is obviously this low. Look how we come to it and then boom, come to the 50. Look how we come to the daily gap, then come to the 50. I can't go by play, man. But from this lower high to lower low and comes in, you see how we want to take some internal liquidity and we want to get to a key level. You can also understand that this right here, when it blows through, that is an inversion automatically. This next candle whips to the 50%. And then over here, you can see obviously that we are using this as an inversion. So this is going to be on the right side of the curve, using that, selling down. Oh, it comes and seals it, not a coincidence. And then just starts to slither down, lower low, lower high. And as you can see here, to the tick, we blow through. On the left side, you got the liquidity. So you got the people who finally pushed buy up here. And then you have the 930 level. You have the first imbalance from, remember, Mondays are always going to be more important. And so are Wednesdays. But in this case, when we're retracing back, they're coming down to what? Well, we have the first imbalance from Monday in the AM session there. We get there and we still fizzle around here. Well, let me see if I can bring it in here. It's kind of hard to show you. But then the PM session, the PM sessions Monday is right here. So yes, we have the ones that are from Tuesday, but those aren't going to be really working well. They're working well in the same day that it is involved in. And that's my advice for you to use it with and be getting above it. That's how we bought above it, right? But coming down here, this is some sloppy price action here. They hunt with these two down candles. It's not for pattern's sake. This is what and generally it will look like in a reversal. And it's this clean, it's more cleaner where we push down with creating an inversion here. The opportunity to come to that gap. There's a gap here. We sweep underneath it. And then, and more specifically to the, just so you know, that same level is 50%. This is 23,785. That is literally the 50% of the PM sessions gap. So we also have Monday's 930 level there as well, but we don't even hit the 930 level. We literally hit only 50% there on the tick. You know I bought this. Yeah, just so you know I bought this. Because what am I doing? Well, I know that we have the expansion already in place with our drives up and so on. It's actually 4 drives or whatever, but because this little miniature one here. So I want to be involved in, 3 to 5 drives after it pushes up and looking for a sell. 830 obviously does what it does, but now I'm pushing back down for the retracement and you see the lower, lower, lower high. So from here, what is this? Doesn't this already look like a reversal? It's an expansion with an expansion. So that's going to be now creating the higher low, pushing it up, assuming that that holds, and it does, right? Oversold scenarios as well. But point is that we are on this top. I think we're just going to start slithering up. I think for the next, like I said, up until like the 17th, 18th, or whatever, assuming that this low is protected. Now, I mean, that's just perfect. You think buyers and sellers brought the price down on Wednesday and brought it right back to Monday's PM sessions first imbalance? That's impossible. It is not a hair lower, and it went up 100 points from there. It's not random. So I'm going to use this to see if this projection is good to use. I'm pretty much getting this swing here. It's coupled with kind of like the logic of this little down candle from here. But and also using that that whole candle, that 101.5 is sitting right here, and 50% is damn near fucking hitting it as well. Off by a hair, but that's the logic. And sweeping sweeping -2 standard deviation on the Asia range is also coupled with that gap, which is all this here. So beautiful. We'll see if this is hopefully not a lower high to make another lower low. And tomorrow's Thursday, so we got some time, and hopefully not Wednesday is not the high of the month. I'm sorry, the week. And then that would suck too. But anything is really possible. But you know, they're always going to build liquidity before they even raid the high. In this case, all-time high liquidity. So I mean, with them snapping up like that and not taking it out is also the part of the logic and their plan, right? But I'm not going to want to see this price action come below 50% of this. Now we have these, you see these three down candles like that. We want to maybe tag that again, you know, and then bounce back up. But in general, we already are up. Again, it is keeping it simple. It is still another higher low, so we got to keep flow with that. Assuming nothing goes crazy here. So keeping the price, what they're going to do here should be very interesting. But because we expect a reversal, it does look pretty nice. So we have a change of delivery here on this 15-minute candle. And, you know, we can come back any lower into here. Maybe they want to come and visit these guys here before they bounce back up. Maybe they want to come a little bit lower here, but I do not want to see that. I do not want to see that happen any lower than this price action here, right? So, you can even also do this. Oh, did I talk about this here? This projection here. Another reason why that lower high could be done is because we came to a 101.5 here, and then we bought up. I'm using these two down candles, and I'm using the bodies here instead of the wick to wick. I'm using the bodies. Look where 101.5 is, and look where it hits it to the tick right here, 101.5. So it didn't get to the 930. It didn't keep pushing up and all that. So if it's taking too long in an imbalance, that means it's well, generally not really going to work. Well, but in this case, you can see the strength now becoming underneath it. This is just way too choppy. You should see an expansion already from this consolidation. And they rated it. Just trying to get as close as they can for anyone who just literally on the momentum side just pushed sell here, because that was pretty easy. As you see, I got in right here, but you know, I was already understanding my bias and the algorithm delivery agenda that they're going to fake 830 with the manipulation and then 930's distribution, right? So anyways, but yeah, you know, it should have already pushed up. You should have never seen it push down like this. You don't want to be involved in anything internal. I want to be involved everything external. And anyways, I bet you I made a long video now, 24 minutes. I didn't even go over anything. This is why this is just very tough for me to do. Otherwise, I'm never going to really talk about everything, and it's just going to be kind of like, I don't know, I got to do something different. But we'll see what I do. dollar is maybe waking up. If dollar keeps really pushing up, then we might get into that 5-year. We might even retrace the hard. But I'm still bearish dollar in general, so we'll see. And then keeping it simple, you had what do you call it? When we came down here, we had higher lows with S&P, and we had lower lows with Nas and Dow. So that was a nice push up. When we got up here, we had higher highs here in S&P and lower highs in Nas and Dow. That pushed us down. Okay. When it pushed us down, this was also a buy here, but coming into another lower high from there, right? So, but we had higher lows there, lower lows and lower lows with them. But the purpose is that this is actually in control, and at this point, a new low is to be made, and this is really what was in control. Once we got down here, you could see that we fucking dirty. Dow does not take out that low, and they push up hard. So and then you also had another little confirmation here with it being lower lows there with Dow. So anyways, I would like to have seen this push up a lot harder if we were going to going back up, but it is a break of structure here. So you want to see price pretty much hold up in here and keep that balanced price range under here untapped. We'll see what they do. And Dow finally did raid that. All right, just look at that. Look how dirty that is, bro. Starting to really wedge and create a breakout level, or it's going to really collapse. I mean, there's just nothing else I could say here. You're gonna want to see this protected, and this protected generally if we're bullish still. So here at last resort, this is debatable, but I wouldn't want them to take this out, or even the low that they created now. So if that changes, then I would probably say that we're probably shifting bearish. Keeping it simple, and again, resistance coming back in and flowing down for liquidity of buying of yesterday. So looking at the range is what's works, helps me. So pretty simple. That's a higher low, shift up. I mean, this is a whole range in itself here, but after we break through again, coming back in, breakout level, look how they tapped at, right? So from right there, look at the 1 hour breakout. Ooh, tapped it right away. So you have breakout, you have imbalance, and you have liquidity, right? So good draw on price. Where is price drawing to? And because of our expansion already, we're already going to be in a majority of literally all the day of selling, with 830 already exposing itself. So you're not trying to buy inside this. This is not, because if it's gonna be still bullish from here, even and they did that, I wouldn't even want to see them come in here. I would have wanted them to do a bull flag, push up, and the farthest they go is this down candle. See this? Use it as support, and then just birdieing up like this. That's what you're gonna see. And you're not really gonna see it come down to here and then buy and keep going. Even though this became a buy, and like I said, we had a buy too. But this is not high probability for it to continue pushing up. Could they have pushed up? Yes. Most likely, would they? No. Right? And then that's that 1.5 getting stuck there. So if it's really bearish or weak, you're not going to see that 1 to 1.5 get respected. So this 1 to 1.5, it was a nice buy, but if we're bullish, it would generally buy back up. But you're in between those areas, it's just a lower high. I'm beating a dead horse. I feel like, and then obviously with this being pushed up hard, Nvidia, waking up, and some of the other majors, they were coming down as well today. So that was also obvious if you had that pulled up, from Meta to Google to well, let me look down here. Yeah, it was Meta coming down first, Google coming down first, Microsoft. They all pushed up and pushed back in. Apple was just literally only selling, so that was another obvious thing there. Tesla, same thing. All right, they pushed up first and then they sold off, and then Amazon consistently selling today, and then you see Nvidia. So what am I gonna say right here? So I gotta do something, guys. God, I'm talking 30 minutes. Fuck. 3 years teaching for free. I think that's pretty remarkable. But anyways, and you don't get lost at this, but this actually should be a darker, because the AM session is not. I'm not saying it's more important than the PM session, but in generally, it's being thought of more. But in the PM session, what's it called? Is very likely as well when it comes to referencing back that weekly candles price action. It's coming back. We want to stay above this. Is obviously if we're bullish. You don't want to see anything start doing that. That would be a bearish week maybe, and we just sink down for Friday. But anyways, I'm going to keep it the same way, the same drawings. I don't need to draw anything. And we're supposed to be really bullish right now, seasonality wise, these next fucking 7 days. Like right now, we're supposed to just be flowing through. So all right, I should have been doing it like this. That's what I should have been doing, but I want to see again something like this. Just nothing too difficult here. And then inside these legs are higher highs and higher lows. I mean, I'm not making this difficult, but yeah, look at that speaker there, beautiful, man. So fuck. You guys take care. God bless.